Hey guys, this is another Friday pickup video, and I'm going to show you some stuff that I picked up. I'm going to explain in a little bit better detail, although not great detail, something that I get a lot of questions on. And I'm going to start off by showing you a couple of accessories I picked up here for the Sega Dreamcast. First of all, I was rearranging all the wires hooked up to my television the other day, and when I went to plug my Dreamcast into it with the S-video cable, it doesn't work anymore. So I wanted to pick up a new one. I happened to find one at exchange. Got this for $5. These normally go for about $8 or $10. I'm assuming they were selling this one for $5 because it was already open, but it works, so I was happy to pay $5 for it instead of $10. And while I was there, I also picked up a VMU because I have a number of black controllers, but I don't have any black VMUs, so for $2.50, wanted to have one of those. Probably buy another one if I found it for $2.50. Picked up some video games. This was at the exchange, I believe, in Fairlawn. A couple of sports titles. Complete, FIFA 95, and IMG International Tour Tennis. Now, I picked these two games up because I don't have any soccer games yet. I think I have rugby, but I don't have soccer. And I picked up this tennis game, even though I have 2 or 3 others, because I like tennis games. Generally, with sports titles, if it's something like Madden or the NHL series where they have a new release every single year, I will generally buy only one version of it. And I'll try and buy the best version, or the version that's considered to be the definitive version. So I have one Madden game, and then I actually have 2 NHL games, the EA NHL games. The reason I have the second one, and it's sitting on the floor here, I don't know why, the reason I have the second one is because it was sent to me by Mike Gardner, and it's signed. So that has some sentimental value. I had to keep that one. Otherwise, I don't know why I told you that. Otherwise, I'd normally just keep one. I guess I wanted you to understand my approach to sports games. There are a lot of sports titles that I really like. I just don't like having every single version of the same game. Then I went to Stickman's in Ashland. It's a video game store. And quick story to this, I bought a few games there, and he didn't give me like a printed receipt. I paid with my PayPal debit card, and instead of giving that, he hand wrote a receipt, and it was for the exact amount that I paid for the games. And I thought that was really odd. He claimed that the credit card printer wasn't working. Then I got like 3 or 4 miles down the road, and my phone, I got an email on my phone, and I had parked by this time. I pulled it up. Sure enough, the guy had charged me twice for the same thing. He had double charged me. And then on top of that, I'm sure the reason that he didn't use the credit card printer is he just typed in an amount and charged it to it. He didn't want to have to pay taxes on it. So I'm sure they do that all the time. They charge people, and then they don't run it through as a regular sale, so they don't have to pay taxes and hand write a receipt. Well, in this case, the guy screwed me over because he accidentally charged me twice for it. I'm saying accidentally because I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. So I ended up having to go back there and argue with the guy, and he finally refunded my money. And I wouldn't have known unless I had been using the PayPal debit card, which sends me an email every time I have a charge on it. So for those of you that go to game stores and they don't give you, an actual printed receipt, they handwrite it, double check and make sure you don't get double charged. I don't know that it happens often, but it happened in this case. And the 4 games I picked up are right here. I got these for $7. He tried to charge me $14, but I picked up Double Dribble, which I absolutely loved on the NES. I'm hoping that this is going to be a good version too. Usually on the Genesis, the games end up being better, but in the case of Double Dragon for the Genesis, which is rare but not nearly as good as the NES version, and Arch Rivals, which, again, it's okay, but it's much better on the NES, hoping this one will be good. It's by Konami, so I imagine it probably will be. I picked up Fighting Masters, which, after buying this, it was only $2. I'm pretty sure that I've seen a review on this on Classic Game Room, and he said it was terrible. I think he paid $2.50, said it wasn't worth it. I got King of Monsters 2 to complete the King of Monsters collection on the Genesis, I think. I have the first one. This is the second one. I don't think there are any others, so hopefully it's now complete. And I picked up a game called Trazia, but I got, which I guess is an uncommon game, I got it for, what did I get it for, $4? And it was loose, so I made a cover for it, but I'm going to show you a little bit of video here. I had actually planned to make a much longer video showing all the different ways that I've had to make covers in the past, but it was becoming a real big headache getting the pieces together and editing the video, so I just gave up and decided to put it in this. but I'll show you right here. First thing you're going to do is open it up in Paint. I'm going to use Paint because I know that most of you are going to have access to it. I have started using a program called GIMP, which was recommended to me by Mike Gardner, and it does a much better job. But we're going to use Paint because I know everybody has that and most people are familiar with it. You want to stretch the image to make room for the other half of the cover. Then you want to go to Paste, Paste From, and click on the image. And like I said, it's much smaller, which is going to cause some issues later, but you'll see. Hopefully you'll be able to find 2 high quality scans and you won't have to do too much resizing, but we got to grab this and kind of, my mouse pointer keeps disappearing because of the recording software. Basically stretch it out to roughly the same width and then slide it into place like so. There we go. This is really difficult. I don't know if it's obvious in the video, but I can't see where my mouse cursor is at. And we've slid it back in, so now it is one cover. Like I said, the obvious problem is going to be the fact that it's not as high a resolution, so it's going to look kind of rough when you print it out. When it's on the shelf, you're not going to see, all you're going to see is the spine, and you can read the words on the back, so that's a plus. Okay, so I can't remember, I don't know what I edited out in the video, but just in case, because I haven't done it yet, I'm going to explain that I found the back cover and the spine on one website, you know, decent, reasonable resolution, and then I had to go to another website to find the front cover. Probably should have explained this to you before you watched the video, and I had to expand it out. I don't know. Hopefully I'll explain it in the video, just in case I didn't. This is what it looks like. And actually it didn't turn out too bad. The front cover doesn't look as bad once it's behind the plastic here. It kind of hides some of the faults. And the spine looks really good, and then the back looks, well, okay, you can read it, which sometimes I do these and you can't read them very well. And I show you that to show you some of these others. One night this week I went and printed up a bunch of other covers for games that I had had laying around loose for a while, and they're games that they're just not very good games, or there's one that I didn't even know that I had, actually 2. But first off, Heavy Nova. Finally got a cover printed up for that one. Another terrible game. Light Crusader. Light Crusader is one that I didn't realize I had a copy of laying around, but I printed up a cover for that one. Justice League Task Force. Really bad game. The Tick. Not a great game, but I absolutely loved the animated series when I was younger. I didn't care so much for the live-action series when it was on television because I kept comparing it to the cartoon, and it just wasn't as good, but I watched it a few years ago, and I actually really liked it, so had to have a cover for the Tick because I love the cartoon. Rampart is fantastic. Finally have a cover for that now. And Outrunners. Printed up a cover for that. Then I have these 2 here. These I also had to piece together. And originally I had shown videos of these 2, but like I said, pain in the butt. The first one here is Death Duel. I don't know if this one's any good or not. I honestly haven't played this. It's been sitting in the bottom of a drawer here for so long. I didn't even know I had this one either, but printed up a cover. This one, I found the front cover on website, the back cover on another website, and then I couldn't find a spine anywhere until, I forget, I had to type something different in to find the spine of it, but I did get the spine, and this was really tiny, so I really had to stretch it out, but it looks, I don't know, pretty decent. And the front cover, not bad. Back cover, not bad. For something that I pieced out of 3 different pieces, I thought it turned out okay. This, honestly, is not one of my finer moments, but Star Trek Deep Space Nine Crossroads of Time. This is one that I had to look all over the place. I couldn't find high-resolution covers for it anywhere, and I couldn't find a spine at all. So there's the front cover. There's the back cover, which doesn't quite fit exactly. And then that's the spine. This was the very last one I did, and I got so irritated, I finally just took and copy and pasted this and put it over, I think, a generic spine that I had from somewhere. I'll eventually redo this because every time I look at it, it's going to irritate me. And what I'll do then is I'll get one of the template covers, which basically it has Genesis down the side and it has red on the back, and you put your own cover and your own back on, and then you sort of lay it over. It's an image with a transparency, so you can lay it over top of it, and it'll just be a solid red spine here. What I'll then do is take and print up some logos. I'll print up, you know, Star Trek and Deep Space Nine, all that stuff, as separate individual logos, and I'll place them on here, and it'll be a much better version. But I was so tired that night and so irritated, I just did that to get it done. So that's how I make covers. And how long is this? Oh, not quite 10 minutes. Finally, I have a system that I'm going to show you guys. Those of you that like me on Facebook will have already seen this, and you'll already know the story behind it. But I went into the Goodwill in Worcester, Ohio. I walked in the front door. There was the glass case. It's always there. Silent auction stuff. They put everything video game related. In this particular week, there was a complete boxed Atari 2600 4-switch Woody with some games and controllers and stuff like that. I did put a silent auction bid on that, but I really lowballed them. And then I continued to walk around the store anyway, because you just never know. And sure enough, I was walking, and I actually passed over the one part, but I saw this, and I instantly knew what it was because I have another one of these. This is an infrared controller for a CDI. Specifically for this CDI 220 right here. And I might have walked by this one. I don't know for sure. I saw the controller first. I might have stopped because it said Philips, but there was a DVD player on top of it, kind of catty corner. So I may have just walked by it. In any case, CDI 220, $2.99. I got it home. It does in fact work, and this is an example of why you continue to go into the stores anyway. Because even though they put all their video game stuff behind a glass case, and it's always silent auction, and it's very frustrating, if you get the opportunity and you're driving by, still check anyway, because you might run into something like this. $2.99 for a CDI 220 and a very decent infrared remote is a really good deal. Glad I stopped that day. So I think that's it. I don't know, the way I recorded this is kind of weird, so I'm not sure if I've showed you everything, but it's all I'm going to show you for right now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.